I'm untouchable, I'm untouchable, I'm untouchable, I'm untouchable. If I'm with it, then they with it. Tried to tell you at the beginning, in the beach it ain't no swimming. I was diving off the end with the fishes. Difficult could take a day, but in an hour I was finished. I've been sipping and I'm riding now. Been killing since I was sneaking out of Diamond's house. On my ops turf, chilling right outside the house. Rebel mind goose bean, even got a vouch. Cause I'm untouchable, like the Huxtables. I'm about to peel for this cheese, man, it's like a Lunchable. Nobody fuck with you, how the hell you living comfortable? License carrier, so what profession I could dump at you? I need a two. I'm untouchable, the Marion ain't touching me. I slide up on them, you can dance with the pump on beat. I'm smoking gas, I've been filling up the pump on 3. I got them because they riding with they truck on E. I've been untouchable since 93, but I was ready about 92. I give you the blue sign for trying to snoop. I'm kinda through, but I'm figuring out what I'm trying to do. And they hypothetics, pathetic. They stop my grind, pop my 9, pop my line, pop, I need them pop if I drop a dime. Oh, you mad? You just like my shine. A derivative mine is like a Stevie Wonder moonwalking and Mike was blind. I ain't even trying to ameliorate the industry, it was in the streets. I'ma demonstrate, friend of me an enemy. And boy, I send them straight to your door. Tray eating, never touch my dinner plate. Wait, cause I'm untouchable, I'm untouchable. I'm untouchable, I'm untouchable. I'm untouchable, I'm untouchable. I'm untouchable, I'm untouchable.
I'm untouchable, nigga. Please don't be gullible. Get money like a Huxtable, nigga. Oh, no pudding pops. Ain't no bitch that's touching me, nigga. Unless she good with pop, don't see nobody with me like Ray Charles couldn't watch.
Welcome to the show. There, it's here. Week 1 with all of our action. I am Dirty. I would turn it over to Arlington, but he's not here yet. This is the X-Fan Show, often imitated, never duplicated, longest running show, and we are live right now. Go.
Damn, when the beat go, I felt that. Hey, ooh, hey, ooh, yeah. Pull up to the zoo and then
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the X-Fan Show. I am one of your hosts. Well, I am the only host right now. Spurge, a.k.a. Dirty. Arlington is not here. Don't know where he is. So as we go, we are going to break down week 1 of the new UFL season. It's here. Finally, after weeks and weeks and months, we are here for the morning season. Good morning, everybody, on this edition of the X-Fan Show. So, what do you guys want to talk about? I just want to know, because it's here. We're excited. Finally, we were so used to the UFL or the XFL kickoff being the week after Super Bowl. Really, were we really used to it, people? It only happened for 1 year, and then they merged with the UFL. Good morning to everybody. It was only 1 year, so were we really used to it? I've been talking to a lot of people within this community, and everybody's like, "Oh, I wish it would have started after the Super Bowl." But do you really? Because now what I'm seeing, the UFL started in, USFL started in April. But what I am seeing now, good morning, Jersey. Oh, finally, he decides to show up. Yeah, look at him. Finally. Hey, thank you for joining us today, sir. I appreciate it.
I had audio issues getting in today.
When do you not always have audio issues?
Listen, it was a problem getting in this morning, so I had to make sure I got in, okay? So, yeah, you got to bear with me.
Arlington. So what I was saying was, it's here. It's here. The UFL kickoff is finally here. Everybody's been so jazzed up. I was saying, but was it such a big deal because we were so used to were we really used to the XFL kicking off in February? Because it only happened one year. It only happened once that they kicked off in February. But we're all like, oh, no, we can't change it. It only happened once. They kicked off in February. Just once, Arlington. Am I right? Just once. Just once. The USFL kicked off 2 seasons in April. I think it's a great medium for both leagues. I mean, it is drawn in the people. See, Andrew, please explain why you like the February start time better.
The closer we're getting to the season, everybody starts getting ramped up, and that's what we've been looking forward to. Okay? This is it. But yes, I think I agree with Andrew. I liked it better in February.
Idiots.
Why?
Idiots.
Why are we idiots?
Because here, think about it.
Sir, it would have been a continuous. It would have been a continuous action of football right after the Super Bowl. Boom, let's get it back in. I know we weren't going to do it, but I liked it better in February. That way, we would say, hey, more football is going to happen right after the Super Bowl. And so you keep that continuing. It keeps moving. Hey, good morning to everyone. All right. I'm sorry I was late. But
you're not sorry. Don't lie. Don't lie to these fans. Don't lie to these fans. You know you're not sorry that you were late. You did it on purpose. You did it on purpose because you wanted
Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Look, see, they're all saying good morning, A-Train. They all like you better than me anyways, but that's okay. I still love it.
I could be late and still not get in trouble.
That's true. I mean, I love each and every one of these fans. No, here's the thing, though. Arlington, as we were seeing more of a build-up for it. Now, I understand why in St. Louis they would want it to start in February because we don't have football, right? We don't have football in St. Louis. So I can see why people in St. Louis would want it to start in February, right? I could see that. But let's really logistically and financially, let's really look at this. It builds up to the start of the league by doing it a few weeks. Because now these players, there were players that had a chance to play in the NFL. They got out of the NFL. Now they actually had chances to get into training camp, right? They actually had more time to gel as teams, as in these interviews that we've had that you could see on Fuel Sports Network, where we have the specials, where they talk about how they have more time to prepare for the games.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They have more time to prepare for the games. The players are in better shape for the games. They're in better game day shape for the games. Because remember, in the UFL or in the XFL, those first 2 seasons, those first 2 games were rough to watch. Rough to watch. Where in the USFL, this is where I'll give the USFL credit. They had the longer training camp, right? And the play was a little bit better in those first 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Where it was in the XFL.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're talking they had a 6-week, 4 to 6 week training camp to get their bodies ready for football.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you actually have a true spring league.
Right.
That's going to start in the spring and end in the spring. Instead of a winter league. Because that's what the XFL was a winter league. The USFL was a summer league.
Okay.
Andrew, I could go with the middle of March. I could go with that. How's it going, champ? So, I mean, Arlington, that's just my take on it, but it's here. We're ready to go. What game do you want to break down first, Arlington? Which game do you want to talk about first?
Shout out to my guy.
Actually, Actually, Jersey, they didn't have a full camp. They did not have a full camp.
They still didn't have a full camp.
Sandy, we could see everything you're saying, Sandy. We could see everything you're saying. They did not have a full camp, Jersey. Arlington, am I right? They didn't have a full camp. They actually only had about 3 weeks.
Hi, Amanda.
Yeah.
For training camp, yeah, it was about three weeks or so. Yeah.
This time they actually had a full camp.
If I seen correctly, it was like March 3rd to the 23rd, I think is where we was at.
Something like that. Something like that. It was something like that. But Arlington, are you ready?
Okay.
But we'll be back right after this to break down all 4 games. Am I right, Arlington? Right after this quick little break.
Houston, we've triumphed. I've made it back to Earth with the cargo intact. The game-changing, time-sensitive payload is none other than the revolutionary energy flavor we've all been waiting for. Introducing Merc Mayhem Cherry Limeade. Merc Clan played a crucial role in securing this energy flavor, and together we've unlocked the future of power. Merc Mayhem is not just a drink, it's a statement, a fusion of relentless energy and bold flavor. The secret is out. Merc Mayhem is set to redefine the energy landscape, leaving ordinary drinks in its cosmic dust. Get ready for a taste explosion that matches Merc Clan's unparalleled power. Join the revolution, and let's unleash Merc Mayhem upon the world. Astronaut M signing off.
And we're back.
Arlington, what I have in here is my Dubby energy drink powder. It's actually a very, very, very good. So go out and get it.
Good.
Use our little saving code. You can save 10% on your next purchase. Arlington, let's get into it. I'm wearing the DC Defenders hat, so let's get right into it. You see my Brahmas flag right here. Let's get into the first game, Arlington. DC versus the Brahmas.
All right. DC versus San Antonio. All right. Listen, folks. Let's get something straight here. Week 1 matchups. I'll tell you this right now. I spoke about this a little bit on the Rough 'em Up podcast with Cullen Watkins. So you make sure you tune into that this week. San Antonio, right? Listen, fans, I love y'all. I love y'all so very much. And y'all have the QB1 with Clayton Dormady. You have the receivers with Cody Latimer. You got John Trey Kirkland in the backfield. But come on, man, we talking about DC. And get it. DC lost their running back, Abram Smith. But they still have Jordan Tehamu and Fred Koss, the offensive coordinator. You got to understand, that's the type of offense that Jordan Tehamu likes to run. And unless San Antonio's defense can stop that, I don't see whoever's the running back. It could be Puka Williams for all I care. You know, whoever's the running back for DC still can have a big game with this. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough game, man. Oh, my goodness, it's going to be so tough to choose. But if I choose one, DC ekes out against San Antonio.
Nope, I'm going to have to disagree.
How you going to have the hat on and then sit there?
Listen, you're right. How am I going to have the hat on and I'm going to disagree with you? Here's why I'm going to say it. Would DC have been DC without Abram Smith all season last year? No, they would not have. Because let's look at what DC did. In their plays, it was run, run, pass. Pass, run, run. Run, run, pass. Pass, run, run. And who was doing the majority of that lifting? Abram Smith. Okay. Listen, in my opinion, I love Jordan. Don't get me wrong. You know I love Jordan. I love DeAndre Francois, because his name translates into my nickname, Dirty. So that's why I love him. I have a feeling DC is going to have a very, very big problem this year because Abram Smith is gone. Listen, I get it. They were the second place team here in St. Louis or in the XFL. Sandy, we got your opinion. You're going DC. Relax, Sandy. We got your opinion. Just keep putting up your stuff, right? Look, I hope DC figures it out because listen, I love everything there is about DC. I love Reggie Barlow. I love Jordan Ta'amu. I love DeAndre Francois. I love that team. But without Abram Smith, I just don't know. Just don't know. And like Jersey said right here, with the Brahmas having the upset, Arlington, we've watched some stuff. We've seen some videos from there. Jersey said that Chase Gamber right here is actually the QB1 for them. They have AJ Smith, possibly the best offensive coordinator in the UFL. I have a feeling, as much as I hate to say it, even though I'm wearing the DC hat, and as much as I don't like Wade Phillips,
I think it's a huge mistake that they're not starting Quentin Dormady in week 1.
I mean, I agree.
Let's say that.
But
we say that.
I'm going San Antonio Brahmas for the first game, for that game.
I'm taking DC.
Regardless. You're taking DC?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That means you don't deserve that hat on your head.
All right, then. I'll do this. All right. I'll do this then. There. I switched hats. Are you happy? So,
you don't deserve that hat.
What?
So you don't deserve that hat.
Well, A-Train's, he's going to be wrong, as always.
So we're doing picks early then, right?
Do what?
I said we saying it early, right? We're doing our picks early, right?
We're doing them as the game goes.
Oh, as the show goes? Okay.
Yeah. See, like right here. Like Mike says, the cost of Smith rises. The loss of Smith rises a lot of questions, and the Brahmas are the wild card team of 2024. Right here. Dormady is a beast. Yes, he is. Yes, he is a beast.
You chose Chase Garbers as the week 1 starter.
Okay, we got some more people going DC. Everybody's going DC. Wow, Antonio is going against his own team because he's a Brahma guy. He's going against his own team. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, Arlington. Are you ready for the next one?
What you got?
What game do we want to talk about next? Let's go with Houston and Memphis. Because right here,
this is our good buddy, Coach John DeFilippo.
Yeah.
Who does not know who is his week 1 starter yet. So I do apologize.
Not yet. He won't know until Wednesday, is what we found out from Doug Martin yesterday in an interview.
Okay, so Wednesday he's going to name his starter.
Uh-huh.
If he knows what's good for him, he start Troy Williams.
He's starting Troy Williams? Is that who he's starting, Arlington?
What's good for him, he starts Troy Williams, baby.
He starts Troy Williams if he knows what's good.
Let's be honest.
Okay, let's be honest.
If the
starter, you're gonna piss Bill Alexander off.
He's gonna choose Chase Cookus. It's a cinch. But man, I'd seen Vontae Diggs of the Memphis,
so good.
of the showboats. He's been going off on people saying, "You guys got to do your research. Do your research."
Oh, of course.
They put the list out.
Look at this, Arlington. Of course she's going to interview Coach Flip because that's her boy. That's her BF. Of course she's going to.
Her XFL boyfriend or UFL boyfriend.
Her UFL boyfriend. Of course she's going to want to interview him because you know how she is.
Houston is at home.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Houston is at home,
mm-hmm.
but it's an entirely different team now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the Brahmas were XFL Houston Roughnecks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'll be interested to see what happens when we get to that. The UFL doing fantasy football. when it comes to this matchup, Houston, the fans, be glad that your team is back, that you actually
Right.
have the Roughneck team. So you should be getting your tickets for this game this weekend, right? So if we're looking at the matchup, most of the Memphis team are full of New Orleans Breakers players that played under John DeFilippo. It's going to be a close game because it's week one. Everybody's still getting a feel. Granted, they did their scrimmages and stuff, but everybody's getting a feel for one another. There's still going to be some mistakes that's going to be made. This game right here is going to be a close one, and in the end, Memphis is going to eke it out against Houston. That's my choice. I'm going Memphis eking out over Houston. I'm sorry, Roughneck fans. I love y'all.
Ooh, that's who you're going with, huh?
The Showboats are going to take give the L and ruin Houston's very first home game at
What's
their
up,
new
Jimmy?
stadium.
That's who you're going with, huh?
But see, here's the thing.
I'm debating because
Houston's front seven. If Houston's front seven can stop the quarterback, you got to remember Chris Odom is there. They just added Ethan Westbrooks. That Dirty you should remember was a former St. Louis Ram. You got Reuben Foster, the former Bama product. So yeah, I know it's going to be up to Houston's front seven. But even with that being said, we do not know what Jared Garantamo is like. He hasn't had any professional time since 2021. It's been 3 years for him since he's seen a professional field.
correct.
We don't know yet. And CJ Johnson is putting a lot of faith in Jared. A lot of faith, man. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can pull off. And he does have a decent receiving core. So, but we know a lot with on the Memphis side, man. They stacked.
That is true. They are. Arlington.
I can't see how you go with Houston in this first week, man. It's
Well,
gonna be
I mean,
hard.
listen.
If it gets to the point where the defense have to stand up and try to, you know, keep have Houston getting the ball, man. It's gonna be a tough game for them, man. It's gonna be a tough game for them.
We've interviewed Coach CJ Johnson numerous times. We've interviewed Coach DeFlip numerous times, right? Listen, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But the thing that worries me is that Coach Flip still hasn't announced his quarterback yet.
And he's doing it for good reason. But go ahead.
That's the thing that still worries me, is that he still has not announced who his quarterback is. Oh, with that being said, because Coach Johnson has announced what his guys are going to be, as much as I hate to say it, and as much as I love the Showboats and all of that, Arlington, and I think because this is the first time a lot of these fans are going to be in front of people for some of these, I'm going to go Memphis.
Wait. All right. Somebody just entered the chat.
You mean backstage?
Somebody just entered in the
He did. And we are proud because we are partnered with Gateway City Sports. And Fuel, you can watch us live on their website right now, gatewaycitysports.com.
And you can go to Gateway City Sports on Facebook too.
You can go on their Facebook page and watch us. But the one and only, the guy that might have the second loudest mouth next to me, but he definitely has a way better beard than I do. The one and the only, Derek King. How are you, sir?
Good.
Hi, gentlemen. First off, I'm very glad to see you guys doing the show today, talking about the first week of the UFL. There's a lot of things that you guys are going to be covering in today's show. And frankly, to be honest with you, I'm really super excited about it because all of the aspects of everything that you guys have been covering for such a long time, talking about on the show, is now getting to a point where we're coming to fruition. Here we are, week 1. We're coming into the UFL. People are going to get excited.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question remains, is the product going to deliver? Is what we are going to see, hopefully, come week 1, going to be what the expectation of the fan is going to meet? That's the hope. You guys covering your picks for the first week. Arlington, I got to tell you, I love you, brother, but I'm going to have to go against you on a couple of those.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
I'm just saying.
Well, here, you know what, Derek? I'm going to write you down then. Okay. We already did DC.
Right.
Okay. We already did DC.
Right.
And we already did DC and San Antonio. Me and Arlington disagreed. And then we just did Memphis and Houston. So give me your 2 picks for those 2 teams.
So DC and San Antonio.
Derek, we're only an hour long, so speed it up.
I'm going to shock people. I'm going San Antonio.
Derek goes San Antonio?
Yep. I'm going San Antonio.
And then Memphis and Houston.
I'm going Memphis Showboats all the way on that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Listen, I know a lot of people have a lot of faith in San Antonio and the way the offense looks right now. And I get it. Chase Garbers, excuse my French, is going to be the week 1 starter. But I still believe Quentin Dormady should have been the week 1 guy because of what he was able to do last year with the with the Guardians. Look, I get it. They had a horrible record, but his gameplay throughout, they were able to compete in a lot of those games. Granted, they didn't do so hot against the Battlehawks in week 10 last year, but a lot of those games.
Hold on. Whoa. They did enough to keep the Battlehawks out. Remember, that was the most points that was scored. They scored 27 points against the Battlehawks.
I get that part.
So they did enough. So, I'm still.
Just remember that was then. This is now.
Right. Okay. So
I get it.
We did the last 2 games. Michigan and the Battlehawks.
Oh, God.
Look, you haven't seen anything out of Michigan at all. I'll go first. You haven't seen anything out of Michigan. Mike Nolan, no offense, might be a nice guy, but he wasn't a good head coach in the NFL. I don't think he might be a better coach in the UFL, but I don't know. I mean, look, it's simple. Battlehawks.
I don't think it's a hard sell.
You're going Battlehawks too, Arlington?
Absolutely.
Okay. Derek, do we even need to discuss this game?
We still do, though. We still need.
Here's the deal.
What is there to discuss?
This ain't going to be close. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be Battlehawks all the way. And it's not just because this is a Battlehawk kind of oriented show, because that's where the fan base is and all that stuff. It has nothing to do with it. Again.
No, not this show. That's tomorrow's show, Derek.
Well, that is true. That is true. But you do have the biggest Battlehawk sign back behind you. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out
part of the studio. I mean, look, I got a Browns flag here.
Look at me. Look behind me.
Look, I got a Seattle Dragons, I got a Sea Dragons flag, a Houston flag, a Vegas Vipers flag, a He Hate Me, so
you got to really go through all of that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to. But it's Battlehawks all the way. No question.
Yeah, okay.
I think Battlehawks by like 14, 21 points. It's not.
Jimmy says 22.
Is it going to be that bad, man?
I think it will be. Yeah, because Mike Nolan. I remember Mike Nolan when he was in the NFL and the horrible product that he put onto the field. And let me tell you something. This guy, Nick Saban, he is not. Okay, so
no.
Let's just get that out of the way.
I mean, what's his name? What was that one coach that St. Louis had there for a cup of coffee, and then
Scott Linehan?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, Scott Linehan was better than Mike Nolan.
Yeah,
I mean,
Scott Linehan can run an offense, and mind you, he's been in Dallas, he was in Miami,
right?
He was
Yeah,
in several different places. He had success, but again, it's the same thing.
That is true.
The newly extended defensive coordinator for the the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mike Nolan did bring the suit back, so that's pretty sweet.
That is true. He did bring the suit back to the sideline.
And I already know that Coach Beck want to spoil that game so bad for Michigan fans.
Yeah, in front of 2,500 fans, because then they're giving away 4 extra free tickets if you're a season ticket holder. And I think 1,000 of them are going to be Battlehawk fans.
Oh Lord!
But that's beside the point.
But hey, I saw that in the fan chat pages. I did. I seen it, watched it like in live time just the other day, talking about giving away free tickets to these. If these teams were having the success that the Battlehawks have been having in the St. Louis market, and they could collectively have even a small amount of success of what St. Louis has had, then we would be having a completely different conversation about the validity of this league going forward. The problem is that when you start giving away free tickets, that's a bad look. Does the NFL give away free tickets? I don't think so.
I think it's just because it's opening day and it's Easter weekend, so you want to get people into the games. So we'll see as the season progresses. All right, let's get to it.
Wait, because we got to go.
No, I do not think Ford Field will have a good turnout.
Because that's simple. The reason being is, if I'm not mistaken, isn't the regionals for the NCAA tournament going to be there?
Yes,
it's going to be the reason.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to take away from.
Whoa, Antonio going Michigan in an upset.
He hates the Battlehawks. That's what that is.
That's true, and they are all playing opening day weekend.
Yeah, so, come on.
Yeah. As a lot of people look at it, as I hate to say it, this is a minor league type of game.
You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth right now, dude. You shut your mouth. You calling this minor, dude. Shut your mouth.
I'm just saying. All right, let's get to it. You ready? You ready, Arlington? Are you ready for it? The game everybody wants to talk about. The first ever championship edition. But let's really look at this. I love Luis Perez, right? Birmingham is a 2-time defending champion. And Jimmy, you are an absolute nut job if you think the Renegades are going to win by 12. An absolute nut job. Absolutely. Hands down. I love you, Denzel. And if you
And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the dirty one has checked out of the building.
Yo, he checked out. I straight checked out. Because here's the thing. I'm going to cut him off for a second.
Got to.
Here's the difference. There's no Alex Magoo for the Birmingham Stallions. And Jamar Smith is not starting for the Stallions. They have a whole new starting quarterback. They're going with Matt Corral. Right? So,
who's been in this system for 3 years?
Has he?
3 years.
Has he been in the system?
Yes. He's been there with them.
When?
He's been there.
No, this is his first season with the Birmingham Stallions.
Well, okay. That's beside the point. You don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, but you have nothing to prove with that. Come on.
You're right. I don't.
Exactly.
Right,
my point exactly. So this is different. Luis Perez has the majority of his team returning. Skip Holtz decided he was going to have a new starting quarterback. This is the third starting quarterback he's using now as the
But you just said it. Third starting quarterback. And 2 quarterbacks he won.
So you think he's going 3 for 3? That's going to be your point on that, right?
I didn't say that. Didn't say that.
What are you saying then, dude?
I'm just looking at these comments and
The Renegades, baby. The Renegades. I'm all in for the Renegades, man.
I'm going to interject right there on that specific game. I want to make something very clear.
Yeah, Jamar Smith is two back. Jamar Smith is two back with the Birmingham Stallions.
Yes, but he's not the starter for week 1.
Has Skip named a starter yet?
Yeah, Matt Corral.
I didn't hear that. Where'd you show it to me?
But while in the meantime you're looking that up, I want to make something very specific. I think you're probably looking at the game of the week right here between the Renegades and the Stallions. I personally think that's going to be a very close game. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of delineation between the two. We all know how the Renegades are coached, how they played last year. Obviously, they're going to have a better year this year, bringing some of the players back, some of the same schemes, doing the same stuff. But I think you're probably looking at the game of the week between the Stallions and the Renegades.
Oh, all eyes is on this first game. I think this, I hate to say it, out of Saturday's ratings for the UFL, this will have a bigger rating than it will the Battlehawks and the Panthers.
Oh, hands down. This would have bigger ratings. Listen, I'm going through this, right? Okay. Birmingham literally has almost every single returning player on their team. Okay. And listen, as much as I look who the offensive coordinator is for the Arlington Renegades. It's Chuck Long. Shake it up, Chuck.
Question.
What? What?
Who won the XFL championship last year?
The Renegades. Who won the USFL? Who won the USFL championship last year?
No.
Who won the USFL championship last year?
The Stallions. But what's the point? Is the point that you're trying to sit here and make is that Chuck Long is a bad offensive coordinator. If that was the case, they don't win the XFL championship last year.
Listen, Derek, who did you pick? I can't listen to this nonsense.
In that game, I didn't pick anybody yet because Dirty's been rattling off at the mouth for the last 5 minutes. It's pure and simple. I think I'm gonna shock some people here. I think it's gonna be the Renegades. I'm calling it the Renegades by 3 points.
Oh, it's gonna be a close game. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a close game.
Yeah,
exactly, Mr. Smith. Exactly, Mr. Smith.
But when the whole team returns, majority of that team returns, and some of the quarterbacks that were on the team the previous year are not, you do realize that this UFL is a whole lot different. Because I'm pissed myself, the fact that Kevin Atkins was cut by the Battlehawks, and I'm gonna
break that down tomorrow on the B-Hawk
did
Live.
not want to cut him, but since they chose 50 players this time, that was crazy. Him and Steven Mitchell, any other year, I think they own that squad, man. And for him to cut both of them was just a shock to me.
So I'm going to tell you this right now. There's only going to be one of us that goes a 4-0. And
it damn sure won't be you.
One of you is going 2-2.
Damn sure.
And then the other one is going 3-1. And the only one that's going 4-0 is this guy right here. Derek's going 3-1, and you're going 2-2. I'm telling you, Birmingham is not going to lose this game.
Come Tuesday, I don't want to see you looking silly when we start the show. Don't be quiet. Don't look.
Birmingham is going to win this game. Jimmy, you're not. Yeah, you're right. Kevin Atkins did get pushed around a lot last year. And there was some other stuff that, he kind of had a bad attitude. A little bit. I love Kevin Atkins. Kind of had a bad attitude. Hey, this is the X-Fan Show. You can find us on, we are powered by Gateway City Sports on the Fuel Sports Network. You can find us on Roku, Fire Stick. You can find us on all our social media platforms. Just read the scroll right there. With that being said, we will be right back because I know you guys want to talk about it. The NFL. Oh, God. The NFL adopted the XFL kickoff. Whoop-de freaking do. Here you
Same great taste. Yes, same great taste. Same great taste.
Who wants some man meat? I do, because I had Just Meats. It's actually not some bad stuff.
Really?
It's actually some good stuff. That's from The Office when Michael was cooking steaks on his George Foreman grill where he burnt his foot, you know?
We're back. We're back with it.
Back. This is the X-Fan Show. I am one of your hosts. Spurs sitting right next to me is my partner in crime for every Tuesday morning. The one, the only, the beautiful, beautiful man that he is. The A-Train. And right below me is the co-founder of Gateway City Sports, Derek.
Why did you say that?
All right, so
it's so hard to talk good about
listen.
jerky.
I thought some of my comments that I've made in the past were colorful and interesting, and frankly, to be honest with you, somewhat stupid. But that takes.
Well, I mean, when you think of jerky, you think of men eating jerky, man meat. That's what it is. Jerky is man meat. That's all there is to it. How many times do you see a woman taking off a big gnaw of a piece of jerky? Hardly ever. Well, who do you see eating jerky?
Have you been at my house? Have you seen my family? Clearly, you have not.
Man.
Because if you did, you would see them enjoying large quantities of said jerky. But you don't.
Are you talking just meat jerky?
Just meat jerky. That's right.
Right. Good shit. Yeah, good stuff. I'm not saying women don't like jerky. I'm just saying I don't really see a lot of women eat jerky.
And for future reference,
jerky, I think
any of you gentlemen that are out there, you're going to go on a long road trip, right? You're going to be going down to Arlington. You're going to be going up to Michigan. Make sure you take some jerky because you got to have that protein.
That's right.
You got to have that protein when you're behind the wheel. You don't want to be stopping at some fast food restaurant and having to stop every 15 minutes at a restroom somewhere because you made a bad decision.
All these women in here are perverts. I'm talking about jerky. That's the man meat. Perverts. All right, let's get to it. Arlington. As you see, Derek has the crest on his forehead. A lot of people were pissed because this new iteration of the USFL and XFL did not adopt the XFL kickoff rule. Well, guess who did?
Somebody caved.
Somebody caved, just like they've caved over and over with the X Cam and the Sky Cam from the XFL and all of that stuff. The NFL is adopting the NFL kickoff rule. Now, finally, one of the most exciting plays in the NFL is back with the kickoff. With the kickoff. Yes.
Is Derek doing a Karnak? Is Derek doing a Karnak?
Derek Nark? How would you say that? Dernark? Dernark? Open your envelope.
Dernak the Magnificent. Go ahead.
Well, what it says here is that it seems to me, from what I'm reading here, you guys already called this a long time ago. Am I wrong? Did you guys not sit on this show and go, You know what? I think the NFL is probably going to take the XFL kickoff, and it just makes all the come on.
You know what? We don't like to toot our own horn here. Wink, wink.
Oh, look at this. Javier says he hates it. Javier says that he hates it that the NFL is a kick.
Yeah, of course.
Javier, you off base on this one, brother. I'm going to tell you that right now.
This is the reason why I believe he hates it. He hates it because it's not their idea, and it should stay where it should stay. And you're tired of the NFL taking everything that other leagues have and making themselves better. That's the problem.
Yes,
and because of that, but that's the thing. We already knew that there were going to be some crooks and steal, and they said we're going to revise it a little bit to make it better. You basically just ripped the whole idea. That's why they consider it the no fun league, man. That's why I can't sit here and say right now to you that I like the NFL, man. They're horrible.
This plays into the exact rule change that they just have implemented about the hip tackle.
Yes.
For lower leg injuries, knee injuries, ACLs, and for meniscus tears, and specifically Aaron Rodgers at the beginning, the first game of the Jets season last year, where he was gobbled up in a hip tackle, same kind of deal. I believe he was gobbled up in a hip tackle, and that's where he had busted his Achilles on that play. I could be wrong. Correct me if I am. Comments down below. But there's been a lot of those lower body injuries related to that specific style of pull down tackle. Here's the problem. If you look at the different places that a lot of these injuries have occurred, you see a majority of them happening on turf, on artificial ground, a majority of the time. It's not all of the time. Look at Aaron Rodgers, for example. That's on grass. So, you have these instances where I can understand where the NFL is coming from, and they're going, we've got millions and millions of dollars, and these are the owners here, invested in these players. We have to take out massive insurance policies to protect these guys from playing on the field because of our investment. We want to make sure we're maximizing our dollar to, investment ratio. I get it. But when you've now done that, it shows every single card of what you're trying to do going forward, which is to eliminate as much unnecessary contact until it is necessary.
So
that's where the NFL's headed.
Right. Now, here's the article. This is from NBC. This is from Pro Football Talk, courtesy of NBCSports.com. And one of the most significant rule changes in NFL history. League owners voted today to fundamentally change the kickoff. In a vote at the annual league meeting, the NFL has adopted a low-impact modeled on what was previously been used in the XFL. The league believes it will increase the number of returns while decrease the number of injuries. Now, Arlington, Yep.
I was going to say this. What does that do now for the UFL? What does that do now? Because you just sat here, you went out on you went to these different cities, you went and did all these town halls, and you said you want to make the game exactly like what the NFL is doing, or model closely to the NFL. Now the NFL has chosen to take a spring football rule and use it in their league. How does that impact them now? Like you sat there and you were saying you was just hell bent on saying, hey, we don't want nothing to do with their rule. Now you have to do something with the rule. If you want to make yourself close to the NFL.
Arlington, are you ready? Yeah, and Andrew, they're going to, we'll talk about that. They're also rewarding the coaches who get one challenge right with a third challenge. I've been saying the UFL needs to do this. Give the coaches a second challenge if they get the first one right. Arlington, are you ready? You ready what I'm going to say to you, buddy?
Didn't we say that too?
Huh?
Didn't we say that too?
Yeah, we've talked about that. Arlington, are you ready?
What's
Derek, tell me if I'm wrong. I know Arlington's going to deny it. Arlington, remember what I told you? What the XFL was? A developmental league to the NFL. It was their Petrie. You hated it. Oh, there he goes. You see that, Derek? He left. He hates it, Derek. He hates it. He hates it. Look at him, Derek. See him backstage shaking his head? He's cussing me out. He's sitting there shaking his head. He's going crazy, throwing his headphones.
That's about as wild as I've seen a man get.
He is going nuts. Here, I'll just show you guys. Look, he's just going mad. He's going angry. He's throwing his headphones. He can't talk. I'm gonna remove him just so he can compose himself. But listen, here's the thing that we've said. And as much as I hate to say it about the NFL and these whole spring leagues, they are just been determined to be the developmental leagues for the NFL. That's all it is. And they've been the Petrie, right? Now I think that the UFL is really going to have to relook because somebody posted right up here. So what does Moose Johnson do? Is he going to change? Is he going to change his mind right before the beginning of the season?
He can't.
You can't now.
He can't.
You're stuck with it. You're stuck.
And if you do it mid-season, that's even worse.
Right. I mean, Arlington, what we've seen, like, look, we saw it, Derek, you had saw it, Arlington, we had talked about it hundreds and hundreds of times. It says, under the new rule, the 10 players on the kicking team and at least 9 players on the receiving team will line up 5 yards apart, just like the XFL. They won't begin running until the ball gets to the returner, just like the XFL. That means that these players will not be running at full speed. So the only 2 people that can do this that are going to be able to move is the kicker. And if they have 2 guys lined up, they will be able to move. Now, if the ball here it is. If a kick goes into the end zone for a touchback, they will go out to the 30. Oops. Where did they go in the XFL? The 30. So, I mean, this is exactly the exact same kickoff rule that the XFL has. I don't see where anything has changed or anything like this. See, like it says it right here. When the rule was tried in the XFL, the injuries were down and returns are up. Plain and simple, Arlington, we said that we saw what? 92%. 92% of kickoffs in the XFL had some kind of positive yardage return, right?
Right. You didn't see this the whole time.
You didn't see this. You saw guys at least going 10 to 15, 20 yards per return. Now, we're taking this to the NFL level where, you know, they are the elite of elite football players. Can you imagine if a guy like Devin Hester had this rule? You wouldn't even kick to the dude. You'd be making sure you kick it out of bounds every single time. Every single time. Because Devin Hester would be running wild all over these guys. Can you imagine here? The guy who's used to a somewhat low impact kickoff. All right, go ahead.
So what that means is if you have a guy like Devin Hester, you need to learn how to stop him. You don't sit there and just, oh, it's a low end kick so they could just remove him out of the game. No, you make them work.
And I agree with you, A-Train, and I will even add to that. You look at guys like Tony Horn for the Rams in the late 90s, early 2000s, where he was running all over the place. You look at Desmond Howard whenever he was having in his time frame and whenever he was doing everything that he was doing. Joe Horn, whenever he was running back kicks. These guys specifically were tailored to get a head of speed. Once they got a good amount of speed built up and they were running, people weren't going to catch them. Now what this does is this slows down the velocity that these guys are coming in at, and to where they're going to have to be a little bit more agile, a little bit more maneuverable. And you're going to see these players that are going to have to be more sideline to sideline, or they're going to have to be more creative about how they're running it back. Maybe you might see some more tossbacks. Maybe you might see some other things. You know, Russ says right there, teams used to kick away from Dion. You know, that's a great example. It's the same thing they did with Hester. They kicked away from him. But I'm going to more than tell you, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show everybody out there exactly what the NFL's mentality is when it comes to this, and it's this right here.
I'm here to make money.
That's right.
That's what it is. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
That's exactly what it was.
I don't give a damn about the fans. I don't care what y'all want. I'm here to make money.
That's a fact.
Well, I mean, that's been the NFL's model this entire time, right?
Well, remember here just a few years ago when the lovely brand that is the NFL, the shield that everyone has known to love. Remember when they were doing commercials about, oh, family, yay, family, yay. Oh,
so Jersey asked this. Do you think we're going to see more kick returns, touchdowns?
No.
I mean, how many did we see here in the UFL or the XFL? We saw one. 2?
1.
And it was a Battlehawk player.
No.
Who was it?
It was
that was a punt return. That was a punt return for the Battlehawks.
And even that, my thing is, it's going to bring more positive yardage. I think that's the part they want more anything. Kick return TDs are a bonus in this case.
Well, and it gives more players a chance to shine in the XFL in the NFL. All right, so Arlington, we got 5 minutes left. Derek, we got 5 minutes left.
4.
And I want to use here. Mike, gotta love Mike, but here it is. The top 5 questions going into this weekend. I'll start with Arlington to go with the first one. How will attendance be, especially with the USFL teams? Arlington, do you think the USFL teams' attendance, which would be Michigan
It's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough for Michigan, and I hope not in Houston, man. I hope Houston folks come out.
Okay, so you think it's going to be rough?
I'm looking at Birmingham and Houston doing well, and even Memphis.
Derek, what do you think?
I think that you're going to see 1 or 2 games that are going to be decent to average, but I think probably the other games are not going to be very well.
I'm going to go. I think it's going to be a rough one for the UFL or for the UFL cities. Well, only one, Michigan. All right, number 2. How will the March Madness affect viewership?
Well, it's a big matchup this weekend, so it's going to affect it big time.
Derek?
There's a lot of money riding this year. I mean, a lot of money. There's so much money in Vegas right now that is shooting back and forth. It's absolutely uncanny. I mean, say, Shohei Ohtani or anything like that, but I'm just saying.
I say it will affect it only for 3 of the games. It will not affect the Birmingham and Renegades game.
Agreed.
Number 3, he says, will we really see a rise in the competition with fewer teams? Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
We all 3 agree? Okay.
Yep,
Number
absolutely.
4, will Fox and ESPN promote the UFL more than what they have so far as the season progresses? Yes, I say yes.
Yeah. Because this is the only spring football league, so you got no choice.
As it progresses, yes, that's the caveat.
Okay. Now, this is the one. This is why I'm glad we got through everything really quick to give us 2 minutes. We each get about 45 seconds. Can spring football work? I truly believe this is our final chance we'll have for spring football. Sink or swim. I will tell you this. Things that I know. Things that I have seen. If this league doesn't work, say goodbye to spring football forever.
Oh, wow, man.
Say goodbye because it's going to happen. It's gotta support. I'm looking on Facebook and I'm seeing idiots in the St. Louis page, Josh Miller going to the Memphis page talking about I'm doing God's work. No, what you're doing is you're making an embarrassment of all of the Battlehawk fans. Knock it off. Go support the team. If you're a real true Battlehawk fan, you could travel to at least 4 of these cities within 8 hours. 4 of them within a 9-hour period. Go support and travel to Battlehawks. That's me. Arlington.
Since Dirty took all the time, this got to work. Sink or swim. So this is it.
I didn't take all the time. You still got 30 seconds.
I ain't got nothing left. Go ahead.
Derek.
I mean, you guys said it. I mean, it's the reality is that if it does not work this time, it's typically 3 strikes, you're out, right? That's the way it is in baseball. 3 strikes, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is the first XFL in 2000, 2001, right around that time frame, that was a mulligan.
Yeah, that idiot, John.
That was a pass because 20 years had passed before they started to come back with it again. Then you have the XFL 2.0, you have the AFL, you have the USFL, you have the AAF, all of these different factions, and they've all now died off except the 2. And those 2 merged. If this doesn't work this time, i.e. if the NFL doesn't buy it out and run it as a minor league feeder system, or something else doesn't happen and it fails,
we're done.
Bye forever.
Hey, this is the X-Fan Show. I am Dirty. Right there is my partner in crime, the one, the only.
Arlington Lane, A-Train, baby.
Right below us is the one and only from Gateway City Sports,
Derek King.
Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.